This is a demonstration of the FODMAP Friendly app and how you can use it to determine whether foods are low in FODMAPs or high in FODMAPs. So this demonstration is being done on an Android phone, but it's going to look quite similar on an iPhone. Now, this is what it will look like when you first open it up, and we can see some different categories here. We'll start off firstly with About. If we go into About, this tells us some information about FODMAP Friendly, how foods are tested, and also what FODMAPs are and the low FODMAP diet. So you can click on them to find out more information. If we go back to the main screen, another thing just to briefly let you know about is the dietary specialists. And you can see if you were looking for some face-to-face contact with a particular specialist within your country, then you can see them here by clicking within it. So for instance, if we go Australia and Victoria and then let it scroll through, if it does, we finally see me listed here, so Glenda Bishop in Melbourne. Now back on the main screen, the other two things, and this is where you'll spend most of your time on this app, are the food lists and the products. The food lists are the whole foods that you'll see, things like fruits, vegetables, dairy products and so on. Whereas the products are the FODMAP Friendly certified products where they have tested foods that contain multiple ingredients. So we'll start off with the food list. Now this is arranged in different categories. So we've got things like baking, beverages, cereals and grains, condiments. If we scroll down, fruits, nuts, vegetables, and so on. If we click on them, so a category, if we click on vegetables, we can see that we have got different types of vegetables that we can be choosing from as we go down. If, for instance, we were to click on green beans. So what we can see here for green beans is that firstly, it's passed as far as low FODMAP goes. So the green pass symbol here tells us that it's low in FODMAPs. So this is telling us that a serving size of 75 grams or 14 beans is low FODMAP. If we look down into this bit down the bottom, it breaks down the different FODMAPs that could potentially be within the food. And the numbers that we see here is based on the threshold necessary to turn it into a high FODMAP product, where if it reaches 100%, then that's going to be that threshold. So we want to have these numbers here being less than 100%. So this tells us, for instance, that beans have got less than 20% of the fructans needed to push it into a high FODMAP category, whereas excess fructose is 60%. So it's getting closer on a fructose level than it is on a fructans level, and it's telling us that it's quite low in most of the other FODMAPs as well. Now, from a basic point of view, you don't really need to worry about this too much, but it's potentially useful if you're mixing different types of foods together within a meal. And so you could be looking at these percentages and saying, well, I want to make sure I don't want to go over in terms of excess fructose. So this is less than 60%, but I'll need to make sure that anything else I add to the meal, together those numbers that they have don't exceed 100%. Otherwise that can become high in FODMAPs. Now to show you an example of a fail, we have Swiss brown mushrooms, and you can see now that this symbol looks quite different. It's red and it says fail for a serving size of 75 grams. Now again, we see the breakdown here, and you can see that for all of the FODMAPs, with the exception of mannitol, we have green telling us there's 0 FODMAPs within it, but the mannitol's a problem. And the mannitol, we've got more than, we've got 290% of mannitol compared to the threshold, and that's why it's failed, because it's over that 100% range, and in this case it's actually over by quite a lot. So you'll see this same basic setup for the other different types of foods and the different categories of whole foods. So just make sure you have a play around with them and click on the different items to see whether or not they have a pass or fail, and so are low FODMAP or high FODMAP. Now the other one that I mentioned here was the products. So if we click on that, these are food products that have been tested by FODMAP Friendly, where they've tested the final product with all of the ingredients within it and then found it to be low in FODMAP. So it's only FODMAP Friendly certified products that are listed in here. So for instance, if we were to click on the snack items, we can see a range of different options here. We've got some lactose-free yogurt, we've got some bars, they're like muesli bars, we've got these little sesame snaps, which are kind of like a little snack bar, like a biscuit sort of, some cereals, the melting moments from Kez's. So as an example, if we open this one up, this just tells us the product's name, Kez's Melting Moments. It shows us what the packet would actually look like when we go shopping. We can see, hopefully you can see right here, there's a tiny little green thing, the little logo, that's the FODMAP Friendly logo on the packet. And then it tells us where we can find it at, where it's available. And in Australia, this is available in Woolworths and Coles supermarkets. And it also gives us a brief description on what it is. So it's a gluten and dairy-free biscuit that is considered to be an Aussie icon. So it's something that we're quite used to here in Australia. And it just tells us a bit of a description. It has the 2 handmade sweet custard flavoured biscuits bound by freshly piped lemon cream. So that tells us what you're going to get. And you can click on the manufacturer's website button for more information, and that will take you directly to their website. And this is another example if we clicked on the sauce category. In this case, we've got a lot of the different FODMAP ranges of sauces. So a favourite that a lot of people love are the butter chicken curry sauce. So this is what the packet looks like. The brand's called FODMAP for You. It's a butter chicken curry. Again, you can see the FODMAP logo over on the left-hand side, that little green logo. And this tells us that it's only available at Coles supermarkets. Again, we have the description of what it is. Here it tells us a little bit on how you can use it, adding chicken, carrot, potato and tomato, serving it with rice so that you know how to make a low FODMAP meal. And then you can click for more information on the manufacturer's website. So your task now is to get a copy of the FODMAP Friendly smartphone app onto your phone, and then you'll have it available when you go grocery shopping so that you can choose the right foods to have on a low FODMAP diet.